50 years of singing. A Midlands choir is getting ready for its Christmas extravaganza. The Artist's Way. Are you ready for a spring in your creative step in the new year? And an artist collective, a community collective, the power of making and sharing work and time and space together. It's Claire O'Brien here with you on Encore with the best of what's happening in the arts in Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. And we'll bring you an update on that a little later in the programme. But tonight we will hear from a member of Portlaoise Singers, the choir which has been taking to stages all over the world for 50 years under the musical director and music teacher extraordinaire Brendan McNamara. And as we speak, just after 7 o'clock, the choir are getting ready in Portlaoise to rehearse for their performance on Sunday at St. Peter's Church. David Delaney is inviting you to take the Artist's Way into next year. It's a 12-week course in creativity based around the work of Julia Cameron, and David will join us to talk about morning pages, artist dates and more. And a brand new venture is coming to Tullamore. A Space Between is creating and celebrating art, music and culture in the community. And their first gathering is happening on Saturday in St. Mary's Youth Centre. It is a musical mini-market and arts event. Tomás Griffin is the man behind it. He's a wonderful story about the inspiration for this event and what he hopes that it will bring to Tullamore. And all of this and more to come on the programme this evening. But we will start, as we always do, with some new Irish music. Heidi Talbot is from Kildare, and she spent a lot of time in the US, but she has a brand new song out with Molly May Talbot McCusker, and I'm going to bring it to you now. This is called In Shame, Love in Shame. You're listening to Encore on Midlands 103. That is the unique voice of Heidi Talbot and Molly May Talbot McCusker with her. And that is their new song called In Shame, Love in Shame. Brand new Irish music for you this week and every Thursday night on Encore. And hopefully tonight we'll get a chance to play for you what for me is the big Irish, the big Christmas song. If we have a tradition on Encore, and we really probably have only one, it is this particular song. I'll hopefully bring it to you later on. Brilliant story today that absolutely lifted my heart because it relates to one of my favourite guests that we ever get to have on the programme, and it's John Malloy, who is the opera singer from Birr. We mentioned him last week because, of course, he was taking part in The Bartered Bride. He was playing the role of Ketchal in the opera, and just such a fantastic man and such a terrific singer. But he has been nominated for a Grammy. Derek Fanning, who was writing in the Midland Tribune, obviously commenting on the pride that is to be felt in Birr and South Offaly now that he's been nominated for a Grammy. But it's a really interesting story behind it, because he was involved in a new opera recording. It's the soundtrack for the new opera called Mary Motorhead Trade, and it's one of 5 nominations in the Best Opera Recording category for the 2026 Grammys. And in this category, if you happen to win, the Grammy Award goes to the conductor, the producer, the composer, the director, the principal soloist and the librettist. And this is a world premiere opera recording that John is involved in. So he has received his nomination for his role as the older man in what is an operatic adaptation of a Mark O'Halloran play, and the play is called Trade, and that was subsequently made into a film called Rialto. John, and I hope we'll chat to him about this in the next little while, whenever he comes down from the excitement of his nomination, and he will be flying to Los Angeles on the 1st of February to find out about it. It is just so terrific, such a terrific event. If you want to hear John in person, he will be part of the Cambiata Chamber Choir and Orchestra performance of Handel's Messiah in Dublin. On Sunday, December the 7th in St. Brendan's Church on Wilmer Road in Birr. So lots happening. We are going to take a little break, and when we come back, it will be to another gorgeous piece of music and an interview with somebody very, very interesting. Look forward to bringing that to you in just a couple of moments. You're listening to Encore on Midlands 103. Well, there's no teleporting on the programme tonight here on Encore on Midlands 103. We are staying right where we are here in studio in Tullamore. And still to come on the programme, I'll be talking to Tomás Griffin about a brand new venture that he is bringing to Tullamore called A Space Between. It sounds like it's going to be really interesting. But before we go to all of that, I suppose he's somebody who was so well loved in Portlaoise and has had such an incredible impact on the lives of so many people, particularly, I would say, girls, because very, very many, hundreds of girls, thousands of girls probably, have worked their way through their secondary school education in Sculcrease 3 in Portlaoise and had the pleasure of learning music under the direction of Brendan McNamara. And Brendan not only is a phenomenal music teacher who had, of all things, in his classroom, a grand piano, such a magical experience to be in a classroom with a grand piano. But Brendan is also the founder, I suppose you could say, of Portlaoise Singers, and the wonderful story about how that group came together and how they are still going strong 50 years on. Brendan is knee-deep in rehearsals, which he loves, by the way, for this year's performance, their big Christmas extravaganza, which is a beautiful array of songs, which you'll hear about in the interview now, that I did a little bit earlier on this evening with Brendan's wife, Rita. Brendan, of course, as I say, absolutely up to his elbows ahead of Sunday's concert. But when I was talking to Rita earlier, the first thing I asked her was about one of the songs that is on the programme, which is All in the April Evening, which doesn't sound like the kind of song you might expect to hear at a Christmas concert, but the reasoning behind it is actually really nice. This is Rita McNamara.
Well, the choir were all wondering the same thing, and Brendan informed them that that was the first song they learned in the choir. And some thought it was strange to be having it at Christmas, but because it was the first song to sing, he just included it in the programme.
He told me himself,
along with the Christmas music.
Indeed, yeah. He told me himself that the beginnings of the choir came from a very peculiar, funny kind of a start, that somebody had approached him about doing a passion play, and he started to get organised for it, and then some people were involved and interested, and the person who had asked him 50 years ago, back in 1975, came back and said he couldn't get enough apostles. And some of the people who had become involved in the choir had signed up, wanted to keep going, and that's where that's where the April Evening started. Yes, that's what started the Portlaoise Singers. And you have been in it. You were in it yourself for a number of years.
Not at that stage. Now, I didn't join it until the children had grown up a bit. Yeah. At that stage, I had a 1-year-old baby, I know.
So you had your hands full.
And I had 4 older than that baby.
You had enough to be doing.
I had enough to be doing. But I joined it when we didn't need a babysitter anymore. And I suppose I was in it about 40 years at least, you know.
Yeah, and you and Brendan met in a musical way. This is another wonderful story, because you had met him when you were teaching in Tullamore. You were teaching in Sculcrease a long time ago.
Yeah, yes, a long time ago, 1961.
And you were
I started teaching in Sculcrease. And in 62, I met Brendan.
At a musical?
We were doing Rosemary. They did a musical every year. I think they still do. But I was involved with... I used to teach the men's chorus. And my friend who was in the bed sitter with me, she taught the women, the ladies chorus. So, It was just that there was a teacher there, Maureen Kalevi was her name, and she was teaching with me, and she was determined to get us involved in everything that was going on. So through that I met Brendan. I was in Rosemary and he was in the orchestra. He played the cello. The cello was his instrument at that time, and he was playing the cello in the orchestra. And we met after one of the shows, and it happened to be my 21st birthday.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, that we went to the brewery tap for a drink after a rehearsal, after a show, you know, and a crowd of us. That was how I met him.
And since then, Brendan he's very well known in Portlaoise, not for the cello, but being a music teacher in Sculcreastry for many years. Lots of people from Portlaoise will remember, girls will remember having had their music lessons from Brendan in Sculcreastry.
Oh, they would. All the girls, yeah. Oh, they still contact him to this day, and they remember incidents that happened. You know, yeah, they're able to tell him. But no, he loved the teaching of music. That was his passion. He was. Before that, he had been principal of the boys' school in Kinnegad.
Okay.
Yes.
And he came to teach music in Portlaoise.
He came to teach music in Portlaoise because the principal in the convent in Portlaoise had decided that she was going to start introduce music into the school. And she rang me because I was a past pupil of the school here in Portlaoise. And she said, "Are you married to Brendan McNamara?" And I said, "Yes." But she said, "I'm looking for a music teacher. Would you be interested?" And she said, "Come over and see me tomorrow." Which we did. We duly did. And she immediately said to me, "And I have a job for you too."
That's incredible.
So that was the interview that time.
And was it she who was responsible for
not only that, but she got us the site for a house.
Those days are gone. Those days are gone.
Those days are gone. All in that day, he had a new job, I had one, and we had a site for a house.
And was she?
And I was coming back to Portlaoise, where I was born and reared.
Was she responsible? Was she responsible, Rita, for the grand piano that he had?
He ran concerts here in Portlaoise and brought artists down from Dublin and all over.
Okay.
And they bought the grand piano with the proceeds of the concert.
Wow.
Of those concerts. And he left it to the school then when he left.
When he retired. Can I ask you about the 50 years then of Portlaoise singers? Brendan loves the rehearsals. He loves the teaching still, doesn't he?
He loved, yeah. He enjoyed the rehearsals, loved going to rehearsals. He'd rehearse forever if he hadn't to put on a performance at the end of it. But I mean, the performances were always wonderful anyway, you know?
Yeah.
And the choir loved performing. And we performed all over the place. Like, he went to the Cork Choral Festival every year and got first prizes in Cork. Yeah. And we went to Wales and we went to France. And we sang twice in the Albert Hall.
And you sang yourself in the Albert Hall. What was that like?
I did. Yes, I sang, not with this croaky voice I have now. I sang in the Albert Hall. Yeah, there was a big sing on every year where they had choirs from all over England and Wales and Scotland and Ireland. And there'd be about 2,000 singers.
Wow.
And we were sent the music that they were performing, and we learned it and sang, which was a huge concert, really, and very exciting altogether, you know. And we performed some terrific works in the Albert Hall, you know. And we were all thrilled to be singing in the Albert Hall.
I bet you were.
Some of the people in the choir said, I can't even sing, and here I am singing in the Albert Hall. He never, ever auditioned them. Anyone could come into the Portlaoise Singers who wanted to come in.
And
there was never an audition. And he had sopranos, altos, tenors and basses.
Yeah, and,
you know.
And the programme that will happen this weekend will be... I'll just run through what the programme is. There's the Emmanuel, and then there's All in the April Evening, the Derry Air, Deep River, Panis Angelicus, Ave Verum, the 12 Days of Christmas, Adeste Fideles, in the Bleak Midwinter, the First Noel, Silent Night, White Christmas, Oh Holy Night, and all in 4 or some in 5-part harmony.
Yes, he would
really
have some
incredible.
in 5-part harmony.
Yeah.
And the wonderful thing is that we have the harpist, Trina Marshall. She accompanied the choir last year in some of the pieces. And she's a renowned harpist. She's fantastic. She was the harpist with the symphony orchestra, but she decided to join with the Chieftains, and she did 30 world tours with the Chieftains.
Well, Trina Marshall has done 30 world tours with the Chieftains, and Brendan McNamara has done 50 Portlaoise tours with Portlaoise singers. Will there be a 51?
That's a very hard question to answer.
When we were chatting earlier, you were telling me that he always has songs. There's more that he wants to. There's more that he wants to teach.
He has more stuff he wants to perform. You know.
Yeah.
But well, it'll depend on his health, and he like last year, 2 years ago, he broke his hip the week before the Christmas concert.
Yeah.
Consternation.
I bet.
Yes. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen, you know?
No.
That's you never know. No, I would say he hates to think of giving it up. He loves the choir. He loves the people in the choir. Some of them are in it for 50 years, remember?
Yeah. It's wonderful.
You know, and it's such a social outing for people. And it's a great outing for people who are interested in singing, and they love it, you know.
They love it, indeed they do, and the audiences in Portlaoise love it, and I think everybody who's in Portlaoise loves Brendan McNamara. He has left a singular impression and a lot of joy in the hearts of the people of Portlaoise and surrounding areas, and that concert is taking place this weekend. It's in St. Peter's Church, and it's going to be a very, very special event. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, it'll be to chat to David Delaney about taking the artist's way in the new year. Stay with us. And should also remind you that was speaking to me there, the wife, Rita McNamara, the wife of Brendan McNamara. It was a wonderful story for their own life, isn't it? That they've been together for so many years, and Rita, a valuable member of the choir for over 40 years. So it's lovely to chat to her there. Back in a minute. You're very welcome back to Encore this evening, and I will be chatting very soon on the programme to Tomás Griffin behind A Space Between. But want to remind you also, you might recall a couple of weeks ago we had John Whelan on the programme, the writer Johnny Renko, and he was waxing lyrical about a wonderful event that is happening and has been happening for a while, courtesy of the Power of Words people in Abbeyleix, and they've been running an open mic on the first Friday of the month in Mooney's in Abbeyleix. If you would like to be part of the last open mic of 2025, It's on in Mooney's in Abbey Leaks between 7 and 9 o'clock tomorrow. You are invited to bring a poem, a song, a story, a tune, and you're most welcome to attend. And John Whelan could not say enough about the positive experience that he had there. If you're thinking, I wouldn't mind doing something like that at some point, or could I write a poem? Could I write a tune? Could I sing a song? How can I get in touch with my creativity? Well, somebody who has had decades of experience behind this is Julia Cameron, who has written a vast number of books about creativity and getting how to harness your creativity. And one of the most famous is, of course, The Artist's Way, which is a 12-week course in creativity. And it is coming to you in Portlaoise after Christmas, courtesy of, and he's on the line, David Delaney. How are you doing, David?
Hi, Claire. Thanks. And I'm glad when you said decades that you didn't refer to
I could hear you holding in your breath after I said that.
That's all good. That's all good. Yes, Artist's Way. We're coming back. This is our second outing in Portlaoise, with thanks to Creative Ireland and the Dunamace Arts Centre. Lots of creative, there's lots of blocked creativity in County Laois, just bursting to get out. And that's precisely what the Artist's Way can help you to do. So it's a 12-week course. There's a process to it. There's things like morning pages, your artist dates, and it's done in a way that it creates community. So it's a free course, and we get together. There's a cohort on a Tuesday. We start on the 13th of January, and Wednesday there's a second cohort this year, and that's on the 14th. So they're running, it's the same course running 2 different nights for 2 different groups, all free. So it's about building yourself that kind inner voice, supports your well-being, reconnects with play and curiosity, and just helps you, be kinder to yourself and your creativity. And, we all have inner creativity. You don't have to be an artist. You don't have to be a writer. If you want to just pick up a pen and jot down a few words because you like to do that, this is the course for you. It's an absolutely wonderful course that Julie has created. And it's a global phenomenon, and we're just delighted to be able to offer it again in Portlaoise.
Yeah. The 2 key elements of it are the morning pages and the artist's date. Will you just give us a quick overview of what they are, starting with the artist pages, the morning pages?
Yeah. Every morning, 3 A4 pages, 3 foolscaps, just whatever is in the brain. Just get up, try and do it within 45 minutes. There's something Jungian about that. In the first 45 minutes of the day, where your brain doesn't hijack you and say, you have to do that washing, or you have to do that. This is just get up, write 3 pages, do your best. Not necessarily every single day. Aim for every day, but do your best. And it's those pages that's the little nuggets of creativity that start to come out, because you start to express and you start to explore things through that. So your subconscious brings up a lot. A fascinating process. I've been doing it myself for years, and it just brings up so much. It's journaling, but it's structured journaling and unstructured in the same book. Just a wonderful process that's highly recommended as part of the 12 weeks.
And we're all about the artist's dates here on Encore, and it's not just the big events and the ticketed events. An artist's date can be something as simple as going into a local craft shop and playing around with the wool.
100%. Spending an hour and doing something different every week. Again, while we do this 12-week course, this is the course for life. So it's finding that space for 1 hour, scheduling 1 hour with yourself every week to do things like that. Go into the craft shop, spend an hour actually looking at the different types of wool, feeling the different types of wool, looking at the varied amount of buttons that there are in that shop. Something different every week. Go to the cinema by yourself. It doesn't have to cost a single penny. That's the idea. It's just to rekindle, slow down, and to rekindle and reconnect with yourself, and bring that back then to the group, and shared experience and unlock the creativity in many ways.
Yeah. I think when you say the phrase "slow down," so many people are conscious of the fact. I think in these couple of weeks as we come up to Christmas, and wanting to have a good Christmas and make a good Christmas for people, and all of the pressures that come along with that, are very conscious of that voice niggling away in their brain, saying, "I really need to slow down. I just need an hour to myself."
Yeah. It's wonderful. We've people who did the course last year. There are a few of them are asking to come back because of the time of year. It's January. We try to look after everyone. We do have a limited amount of places, and the course is free. You just need to get a hold of a copy of the book that you can use for the 12 weeks. So ideally, buy it if you can. But again, it is a funded course by Creative Ireland, and we're very, very grateful for that. Don't let money be an object. Just give us a shout, and we'll get that sorted for you if need be. But it's a fantastic way of slowing down, of appreciating what you have. This is bubbling within every single human being. We are fundamentally creative at heart, and it comes out in many, many different ways. We've people who have a lady left her job actually after the course last year, and she's gone into the creative industry.
Wow.
Just by just, no, I'm not encouraging that. By slowing down and looking at doing what you love, getting back to doing what you love. You may have been told, as a kid, stop cutting outside the lines, and that may have put you off drawing for life. It's just revisiting that kind of stuff, and to hell, go outside the lines. If that's your expression, go outside the lines.
Yeah.
So it's a non-judgmental. It's a very, very supportive way. The 12 weeks actually fly by, and it's a course for life. It's a wonderful, wonderful course, and we're just delighted to be able to offer it in Portlaoise.
So if somebody is asking Santi for a copy of Julia Cameron's The Artist Way, or if somebody's thinking that would be a nice gift, pop into my local bookshop and get a hold of that. How can people book to be part of this? Because even though it's free, I presume there is a booking involved.
Yeah, and we do have, just to get an idea, it is a fit for 99.9% of people. It's not a therapy course, just to make that.
No, definitely.
There's something going on, and people sometimes do confuse that. So just there is a little questionnaire we have in advance of that. But if you go onto the Dunamace website, dunamace.ie, it's actually listed as one of the January events. It's not one of the workshops. It's listed as a January event, and you just click the link there. Give me a shout on that. Any questions, we'll come straight back to you on email or text, whatever suits. And there's a few places left on both of the nights. And we'd love to, the more the merrier, and just get going and get into digging into the creativity and flying at it. That's
it. Thanks a million, David, for telling us about that, because there are people who'll be taking a sigh of taking in a deep breath and thinking, okay, that's the thing, I can power through the next little while, and I'll have that to look forward to in the new year. Really appreciate you chatting to us this evening, David Delaney. Always good to talk to you. Have a lovely Christmas.
Appreciate it. Happy Christmas back to you and yours. Thanks a lot, Claire.
Thanks. David Delaney there, and dunamace.ie is where you will get all of the details. We will be right back on Encore with Tomás Griffin on the space between the new music and arts and connectivity venture that is happening in Tullamore. Stay with us to find out more. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? That is Deep River, and that is one of the songs that will be performed on Sunday by Portlaoise singers when they have their concert in St. Peter's Church. It's absolutely beautiful. And just before that, you heard the only tradition that we have on Encore, which is we try so far as we can every year. I think we only missed it one year, to play Christmas Card from a Hooker in Minneapolis from the incredible, inimitable Tom Waits from the Blue Valentine album. It is a song that absolutely has not aged or changed or it's completely timeless and not in the slightest bit cliched or at all in the Christmas season. A few little events that I wanted to tell you about that are happening. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to get Tomás on the phone to talk about the project that is happening tomorrow in Tullamore, but I'll give you a bit more than that in a couple of minutes. It is Panto time in the Midlands. In Mullingar, it is time for Robin Hood, which begins tomorrow night and it runs until the 29th of December, and fair dues to them for what is going to be an extraordinary series of events happening there, and such a long run and such a dedicated audience for the Panto in Mullingar also. There are a tiny few tickets left for Tullamore's Panto at the hands of Colin Hughes and Chris Caroon. That is Jack and the Beanstalk. It's at the Esker Arts Centre until the 14th of December. And Athlone's Dean Crow Theatre has a Bruce Springsteen tribute performance on Saturday. And on Saturday week, Don Wycherley will be on with his one-man show, Paddy. I'm going to be chatting to Don on the programme next week. I am very curious to find out a little bit about what the life of the actor is at Christmas time. You know, somebody has to provide all the entertainment that we're enjoying over our Christmas holidays. And what's it like to be one of those entertainment providers? And as I mentioned earlier, Mullingar Choral Society are performing this weekend at the Cathedral, and you can enjoy Handel's Messiah in Birr on Sunday. If I'd had Tomas Griffin, he would have been telling me about A Space Between, which is a new collective creating and celebrating art, music and culture in the Midlands. They are meeting on Saturday at St Mary's Youth Centre in Tullamore. It is described as a musical mini market and DIY show for all of the community. It will feature handmade crafts, artwork, dreads, jewellery, all made by local vendors. There will be a mini zine making workshop and more, and if you're interested in becoming a vendor for that, you can drop them a line to spacebetweentullamore@gmail.com. It's free entry if you pop along on Saturday, and there will be live music there as well. And Tomas's story behind this is really about trying to get a community, because he had this wonderful experience when he was living when he was studying in Maynooth, of a space for people to come together like this, and it would be lovely to see something like this in Tullamore. We're almost at the end of the show, as it is. Thank you so much, as always, for the pleasure of your company. It's always good to be chatting to you on a Thursday night. Next week, it will be with Don Wycherley, and we'll also be talking to Amanda Kelly from The Power of Words. And coming to the end of the year here on Encore, if you have if there are events that you're involved in or you'd like to let us know about, encore@midlands103.com is the email, and I would love to hear from you. The great Joe Cooney is here after the news. Till then, take care of yourself. Good night.
To hear this or any of your favourite Midlands 103 shows again, go to the podcast section of midlands103.com or search for the programme name in your favourite podcast app.
With Suzuki at Hugo Luna Motors, choose to experience our 252 special offers on the latest Suzuki models today in diesel, hybrid or fully electric at Hugo Luna Motors for Ban Street, Cloughan. HugoLunaMotors.ie.
It's almost 8 o'clock.
Time to see the new 261 Volkswagen range at Michael Moore Car Sales, Portarlington. From the iconic Golf, the spacious Tiguan, the 7-seater Tayron, the popular T-Roc, or our all-electric ID range. We have your next car waiting at Michael Moore Portarlington, VW.ie. Get ready for a festive feast as Mulhall Meats returns once again with a Christmas gift. Celebrating 94 years in business, they're giving you the chance to win delicious Christmas dishes. Whether it's sirloin or strip loin steak, eye of the round roast, sausages, chicken, mince, burger, turkey, ham. Mulhalls are your perfect port to call for the finest festive foods. This Friday, tune into Breakfast Midlands Today, the afternoon show and drive time for your chance to win delicious Christmas dishes. With Mulhall Meats, find them at Mulhall's SuperValue, Lister Square, Portlaoise.
Is your business looking to save money and become more sustainable? Have you heard of the Energy Efficiency Grant? Suitable for all sectors? Some upgrades you might be considering are new equipment, meters or energy controls and much more. If so, contact the team at the local enterprise office Westmeath to hear how you can claim back an improved contribution of 75% of your eligible costs to a maximum of €10,000. Telephone 044 933 8945 or email localenterprise@westmeathcoco.ie.
At PTSB, everything we do is built upon a better understanding of you. And this festive season, we're here for you with our in-app features. Like Freeze Card, if you've misplaced your card, Quick Balance to check funds instantly, and PTSB Protect to help you stay safe from fraud. With our teams online, in-branch and on the phone, it all comes together for a better banking experience. PTSB, altogether more human. Permanent TSB PLC trading as PTSB is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Come and see our ranges of LVT 100% waterproof flooring, suitable for kitchens, utilities, bathrooms, basically anywhere in your home. It's warm underfoot and lots of colours and types to choose from, like wood plank, herringbone and tile effect. We also sell and deliver beds, mattresses and take away your old mattress absolutely free of charge at Centrepoint Carpets, Portlaoise, centrepointcarpets.ie.
What's gravity? When does the grass grow greener? Can people with longer legs jump higher? How are plastic cups made? How filthy are our parents? Which ingredients make the best slime? Why do we dream? Are you faster than a calculator? Could a robot be powered by fruit or vegetables?
Kids are full of curious questions. ESB Science Blast, delivered by the RDS, empowers children to investigate the science behind simple questions just like these ones. Find out how your school can get involved at esbscienceblast.com.
Christmas is here at Fernhill Athlone. Magic and wonder for garden and home. Visit our biggest ever Christmas store. Lights, wreaths, trees and more. Gifts for everyone for under the tree at Fernhill Athlone. In store or at fernhill.ie.
Imagine your attic transformed, your extension perfect. With TF Building Contractors, it's not a dream, it's reality. Third generation experts in attic conversions, extensions and modular homes. Email Damien at defoyconstruction@gmail.com or find them on Facebook and Instagram and watch your house go from meh to magnificent.
Online at Midlands183.com and across Laois, Offaly and Westmeath. This is Midlands 103.
It's 8 o'clock. Good evening. I'm